It's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here from Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by your head coach of Nebraska Baseball, Will Bolt. Coach, how are you this morning?
Oh, good morning, fellas. Doing great. Get to talk a little baseball. It's almost time.
Absolutely. I feel like there's no pressure, Coach, but I feel like this is the furthest out, because this has been going on for almost a month and a half, that we've been talking about Nebraska baseball. Do you internally kind of feel the buzz kind of for this year's team?
Yeah, I think so. And I think it's probably a big part of that is just, a lot of the names, right? Like there's less unknown. There's a lot more names that people are familiar with. It's easier to talk about those names because you saw them play last year, and knowing that obviously, the lineup could look a little different. The pitching rotation and staff could look a little different, but by and large, you're pretty familiar with the vast majority of guys. And that's a good feeling. It's a good feeling in any sports organization, knowing that you've got some comfort there with veteran presence and leadership and guys that have been there. And I also just understanding and impressing upon them that what they did last year has no bearing on a new season that's about to unfold.
Beautiful. Even I can still hit this one. That answer's like a slider that didn't slide, Coach. So you talk about familiarity, and this is probably, I don't know, a handful of weeks ago we were talking about, okay, if you're Coach Bolt, are you more comfortable having options, or would you rather have a few knowns? Because you got a couple of key spots where you're going to have some options. You can do situational, you can do offense, defense. Is that kind of a headache, or would you like it a little more defined as you head into the opener?
Well, there's always good problems to have, right? When you're the head coach and you've got to put pen to paper to write that lineup, you want to feel like you've got to make some tough decisions at times, but at the same time, you also like to say, okay, I'm just going to ride or die with this guy. This guy's a dude, and we're gonna ride with him. And this guy's seen the ups and downs of baseball at this point and kind of knows how to navigate those things. So I do feel like we do have plenty of options. I do want to continue to improve. I mean, I think we certainly have room to improve offensively. What we look like at the end of the year last year is what I would hope and anticipate that this continues for this group. Just where you've got the ability to bop a little bit. You've got some team speed. You've got the ability for guys to play selfless baseball too, if called upon. So I just think there's some ebbs and flows that go along with it. I really, we have some of these veterans that, like Gabe, he's now seen the ups and downs of college baseball, and he's kind of figured out how to navigate those. And so you feel really good about his ability to, navigate a tough game or a tough couple of games at this point. And, you've got just a veteran presence in the infield, and, you've got some guys in the outfield that have played a lot, and a guy like Frost who has done it at another level. So there's a lot of options there. There's the guys that you want to see take the next step, and it's important for our program that we didn't go out and just say, hey, we're going to go get a bunch of new guys in the portal. We plugged some guys in, but we're really banking on some of these guys that we've had in our program to just continue to get better. And that's a big part of having a program in the Midwest. I feel like you just got to be able to do that. You got to be able to use the portal to your advantage to a certain degree. But we're going to be able to have some options. We play a bunch of different guys, especially early. But then we have some guys you can feel that you can lean on, and you kind of their track record says you know what you're going to get from them.
Coach, that's really interesting because, obviously baseball is such a confidence-based sport, right? And how do you walk that sort of balance between having guys that you do kind of want to ride with and let them ride out some of the struggles versus having some options that you go, hey, maybe this guy deserves a shot? That's got to be kind of tricky.
It is. It's tricky. And here's the thing. Once we identify the guys that we feel like are everyday players, then the question becomes, are they doing what helps the team win? Because I'm not interested in just having guys play out a season and fill up their stat line. Because we have a limited number of games and we're trying to win all of them. So when they're in a funk, are they having team at bats? Are they hitting the ball on the barrel with nothing to show for it? Are they competitive in the box? Are they playing with that confidence? Those are really things that we look at, and knowing that we do have a good group of guys that are there, and I think you'll see those guys get their opportunities maybe as late inning defensive replacements. Well, they'll get some at bats. Maybe they'll get a pinch hit appearance here and there, and take the most advantage of it and run with it. So there's just the big thing is with the starters, are they playing team baseball? Or are they chasing stats and worried about themselves? I mean, I'd like to think we have 9 guys that are going to start that are all going to be on the same page. But there's going to be ups and downs throughout the year, and there'll be guys ready to push. That's for sure.
Coach, I'm going to get to your staff here in a second, but I want to talk about kind of that versatility, whether you're talking about options at right field or outfield or wherever it is that you feel like, okay, I got some choices here. How important is it that this staff is communicating ahead of time about the expectation level so guys can kind of settle into what's expected, whether they meet it or not? At least they know what they're dealing with.
Yeah, well, that's a big part of it, is to have those honest, sometimes uncomfortable conversations ahead of time. We've had them all with the pitchers already. They kind of know where they're at. And as a matter of fact, kind of as we speak, guys are rolling in to my office with the offensive staff the next couple of days to have those conversations. So again, the opening day is not a finish line. It's just kind of obviously a starting point of a snapshot in time of where we're at. And, again, there are some difficult decisions because, you've got several options in the outfield. You've got the Overbeek, Stokes, Rumbaugh, Dylan Carey. They're all very, very veteran guys.
Yeah.
And Rhett Stokes is kind of a guy that, nobody really appreciates as much as they should. We won 72% of the games that Rhett Stokes started for us last year.
I know people think Roswell is like the UFO place, right? It's like no, they got a military academy there, guys.
That's right. And I mean, the kid hit 360 and, he's done nothing but be a great baseball player for us. So we've got to find opportunities, and chances for him, for Overbeek, for Brumbaugh. Again, good problems to have. And again, it's our job as coaches to make sure that everybody's on the same page with what's the main thing. Make it the main thing, winning in the team.
Coach, you mentioned a couple things earlier that have stuck in my head a little bit here. Obviously, a lot of familiar names, a lot of returning guys from last year, but also last year doesn't earn you anything. How do you get guys to sort of mentally press the reset button when you did have, 40 wins, regional appearance, had a fairly successful year last year, and it's a lot of the same faces? How do you get guys to turn that page over?
Well, I think what you have is you have some street cred now, with your process, and to say, look, fellas, this is what we preached a calendar year ago, a year and a half ago, when some of you guys first got on the campus. Joy and intent, practice with joy and intent, play with fire and intensity, and be hard, fast, and loose on the field on game day, and just do it every day. And I know it sounds simple and cliche, but really you just kind of try to block out the big picture. Certainly we have our goals and we talk about them. We don't shy away from them. But they're also reminded of what our process is to show up with a job to do each day, practice with joy and intent. Obviously for us, that means, hey, let's have a smile on our face, but when it's time to lock in, we're going to do it with game-like intensity. And then just do it the next day and the next day and the next day. And we try to really be a team that is not emotionally driven, because that really allows yourself to think, okay, we're hot right now, or, oh, we're down in the dumps right now, versus just, hey, we just show up and play. So I just, that's really what we impress upon the group is just, hey, you've got a job to do today. And it's to be process oriented and go play with emotion, but just don't make it an emotional game. And we've got a chance to operate at a high level.
Coach, I won't ask you to rank them and their battery mates, but the importance of Huligso and his experience. I know you've seen him do it on Tuesday and Wednesday nights, but now he's yours, and the development of Mason to kind of step into that frontline role. Kind of walk us through that combo.
Yeah, Hogan is he's a consummate professional. He's a quiet kid, but he's got a presence back there. We've really impressed upon him the importance that we find and having a guy back there that will use his voice. So we're going to continue to work through that with him as he's getting more comfortable with our staff. But man, he's just, you know what you're going to get. I mean, he can really, really catch and throw. He's an excellent receiver of the baseball. I really feel like he's improved his blocking immensely since he's been here. And he's a guy with, a 285 career batting average that I think there's more in the tank for him. And I just think that he's stronger, more physical now, with the training table that we have here, with the weight program that we have here. He's just, he's a grown man now too. He's a senior. So big addition for our team, just to have a professional at bat, to be a professional behind the plate, and to just bring that steady presence back there. And with McConaughey, just the things that you admire about the kid, the reason that he found himself in the starting rotation last year is because he knew he needed a mindset flip. He chose to do that on his own heading into last season, accepted his bullpen role, mastered that, and then got more. And he's just been the same guy, not rested on what he did last year. He stayed here, worked on his body, continues to work on his mental training. His flexibility is something that he really wanted to continue to work on so he could just be more repeatable with his delivery. He's fully bought in with what Coach Childress is teaching him, both mentally and physically. And he's just ready. I mean, he's a horse. He's ready to take that next step. And again, just like everybody else, he understands he's got a job to do each Friday. And what he does in those days in between is going to be the difference between him, being good and being great. And, he had a wonderful, wonderful mentor, Brett Sears, last year, of a guy that just had an unbelievable process in between his starts that I know Mac has really, used to his advantage.
That's Will Bolt, the head coach of your Nebraska Cornhusker baseball team. Coach, we appreciate the time. Good luck just a few days from first pitch. We wish you the best.
Go get him, Coach.
All right. Appreciate it, fellas.
Thanks.
Go Big Red.